Hello everyone and welcome to STEM School. In today's video we'll be looking at multiplying out double brackets. This is a very common technique you'll use over and over again in algebra, especially as we'll look at solving quadratic equations in future videos. So continue watching and we'll go over some GCSE and Scottish National 5 exam questions. So the method to work this out is called the FOIL method. It's the most common method out there. So what this stands for is first, outer, inner, last, and it's essentially the order you multiply out the terms in the brackets, okay? So what we'll have, you'll get brackets like this, there we go, and then in the middle of the brackets you can either have a plus or a negative, okay? So it'll be one or the other, and then you'll have numbers and terms in the brackets and the blanks over here. So what I'm going to explain to you is the order to multiply out, okay? So let's go into step 1. You're going to multiply the first term here to this term. There we go, this is step 1. And then we'll go into the second step. We'll multiply the first term and the last term here. Okay, so this is step 2. And then step 3 is the second term in this, the first bracket, multiplied by the first term in this. So that's step 3. And then we'll multiply this term by the last term in this bracket, and that's step 4. So it's quite a simple process to understand for multiplying out double brackets. Alright, so we're going to use this method for multiplying out double brackets to work out some questions. And I've got 5 questions for you, and they just show you the different kind of things you could be hit with in the exam. So these questions, they're written as an expression meaning that there isn't an equal sign. And we're going to deal with those kind of questions later on when we have an equal sign, when we solve linear equations and quadratic equations, but we just need to use this technique later on. So let's have a go at this kind of question. Let's use this method. So we have x times x first of all, using this method, so that will be x squared. We use the rules of indices, just add the powers. Then we have x times positive 5, so that will be positive 5x. And then we'll do positive 7 times x, that'll be positive 7x. And then positive 7 times positive 5, well that's simply 35. And then what we do is we simplify that by collecting the like terms. So we have a single x squared term, so that's fine as it is, but we have 2 x terms here. We've got a positive 5x and we have a positive 7x, so that will be positive 12x. And then positive 35. And there we have it. So let's go into the second question, and this is where I just want to illustrate that if you have an x squared term like this, well this is the same as writing x times x, right? So it's the same with brackets, you just multiply the brackets twice. So this can be rewritten as x times 8, x times 8, just like that. If there's a 3 there, if you're cubing it, you'll multiply the bracket 3 times, okay? So let's do the same process. You do x times x, you'll get x squared, then x times negative 8, you get minus 8x. Then you have minus 8 times x, and you'll get minus 8x again. And now this is where you have to be careful with your negatives. So 2 negatives multiplied by each other creates a positive, so we get positive 64. And do the same thing as before, you collect the like terms to simplify it. You have x squared, you've got a minus 8x and then minus 8x, so you have minus 16x, and then plus 64. Okay, so just be careful with your negatives for this. So let's do this question. We'll do x times x, I will have x squared. Okay, simple. X times positive 6, positive 6x. Then minus 6 times x, you'll get minus 6x. Then you'll have minus 6 times positive 6, that'll be a minus 36. And just collect the like terms, you have x squared, positive 6x, and then take away 6x, so they'll cancel out, it'll be 0, then you have minus 36. Okay, and I just wanted to show this example because in a later video we're going to look at factorizing into double bracket form. So you'll get an expression like this, okay, with numbers and letters, and we have to simplify it and put it into a bracket form. So there isn't an x term here, so you have to figure out what is a bracket form of that. So we're going to have a go at some harder questions here, and for both National 5 and GCSE, they'll tend to make the questions a little bit harder by adding something like this where you have 3 terms in a bracket, And for this question, we've just got an extra single bracket added on, just to add a few more steps to the calculation, okay? But it's the same process, okay? So I'll show you how to multiply a bracket with 3 terms in it. So what we have x times 2x squared, and that will be 2x cubed. Using the rules of indices as before, we have 2 plus 1. Then you have x times negative 7x, so that will be minus 7x squared. And then you have x times negative 3. So what does that come out as? That will be minus 3x. Okay, now we move on to the bottom. Okay, so we do positive 5 times 2x squared, so that will be positive 10x squared. Then we do positive 5 times minus 7x, that will be minus 35x. And then we have positive 5 times negative 3, so that will be minus 15. Okay, so now at this stage we just have to collect the like terms. So is there a cubic term? There's only one here, so we had to 2x cubed. And then we move on to the x squared term. We have a minus 7x squared and a positive 10x squared. Minus 7 plus 10, that'll be positive 3x squared. Now let's move on to the x terms. We have minus 3x and minus 35x, so that'll be minus 38x. And then we have minus 15 on the end there. Okay, so that's how you multiply a bracket with 3 terms in it. Now let's go into this question. So this just makes it a little bit more complicated because you're adding a single bracket into it. It just adds more further simplifying on the end, okay? So do 3x squared times 2x, you'll get 6x cubed. Then we have 3x squared times positive 5, that'll be plus 15x squared. Then we have positive 2 times 2x, that'll be positive 4x. And then positive 2 times 5, so that'll be positive 10. Okay, now let's move on to the second bracket. So here you have to include the negative in front, so you do minus 6x times x squared, that'll be minus 6x cubed. Then you do minus 6x times minus 3, so we get a positive here as 2 negatives multiplying, positive 18x. Okay, and it's the same as before, you just collect the like terms. So let's do the cubic terms first. We have a 6x cubed and a minus 6x cubed, so they cancel out. So we have a positive 15x squared, and that's it. We don't have any other x squared terms, so it'll be 15x squared here. Then let's move on to the x terms. We have a positive 4x and we have a positive 18x. So 4 plus 18 will be 22. And then we have a positive 10 on the end. And that's it. And there we have it, folks. Hopefully by now you're an expert in this and you're ready to do these kind of questions in an exam. If this video has helped you, please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video as we'll look at factorising quadratics. So we will learn how to put these expressions back into double bracket form.